What's going on, CVS Nation?
What's going on, y'all?
Welcome back to another video. I just want to say thank you for logging on to our channel, checking out our videos. We truly appreciate it.
Definitely.
You ready?
I'm ready.
This is going to be a great video. And if you haven't seen part 1 of this video, please do so. This is a continuing of that video. Part 2. We're going to talk about my IVF journey during this video and what I went through. So let's start it off. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Let's go. So, how did it start for you?
Very similar to your beginning. I went through phase 1 of the whole IVF process the same time Candace went through hers. The biggest difference between our results from our test, my fallopian tubes were normal. Everything looked great. The doctor said I had a great uterus, very well put together.
Sounds so weird.
Right? I have a great uterus for a baby is what he said. But more importantly, the main discussion that I had with my doctor and the biggest concern he had was my age and my egg count. So of course, the older you get, the lower your egg count is. So that's one of the challenges that I was facing while going through the IVF process. So the first phase was just the testing, making sure everything worked great. The next part was the egg retrieval process. Very similar.
Yeah, so remember, you get this big box in the mail, right? I shouldn't say big, but it's, if you saw the last video, you know what I'm talking about. You get this box in the mail. It was overwhelming with just everything, syringes and needles and pills and alcohol pads. Like, I know what was going on through my mind. What was going on in your head?
I was excited. I felt anxious to start. As far as, tackling this phase of the IVF process, I really was, gung-ho. I can take needles. I got this. My body's going to do what it needs to. And it wasn't that way at all. Yes, I was able to administer the shots, and we were able to get all the medications in. However, my body reacted much differently to that part of the IVF process, the getting ready up that leads into your egg retrieval. I was dealing with a lot of stress, work stress, commuting an hour and a half one way to work and back.
Working nights?
Yeah, I was working nights, working days. I was just doing a lot of training. So I put a lot of added stress on myself while I was going through the egg retrieval process. Not that I wanted to, but it just happened to fall that way. So once we did get into it, it just kind of overpowered my body. I think the emotions were just, at a whole nother level that I just, wasn't anticipating on, my body reacting to it. Very similar, as the process went on, the more you take the medicine, the more your body reacts to it. The biggest difference between you and I was that you really felt the eggs growing. You really felt, that crampiness, and I did feel it too, but however, my process was a lot slower. My eggs weren't growing as fast. They were not getting to the point where the doctor was okay with, let's do the egg retrieval process today. So I had a little bit extra time with the medicine, which made my body react a little differently. I was not happy. My body did not like it.
Yeah,
it was pretty stressful.
Yeah, it was almost to the point where your body was rejecting it.
Yeah.
It was so much to deal with, and that the outer circumstances didn't really help it either.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so you just can't help some of the things that you go through in your life when you are going through the process. So if you have the ability to take that extra time off of work, focus on your body to help the process, I would suggest that. I didn't have that opportunity.
That's good advice.
But I think I would suggest that for someone who is trying to go through it. And very similar to what Candace said the previous video, be with your body, you know, let your body do what it needs to, trust your body, and, you know, just let the process happen. So now we are leading up to the day we get the call from the doctor that says, all right, you need to administer that trigger shot because tomorrow is your egg retrieval. And that's what we did. We waited until the doctor said it was we were ready.
It's go time.
It's go time. Went in. Unfortunately, during this time, we could not have a visitor, so Candace unfortunately couldn't go in there with me, so I had to do it by myself, very similar to hers. I went in, very quick procedure. I was under, you know, they extracted all of my eggs that were developed, and I went home. The process for me afterwards wasn't as bad as the way Candace went through hers. I did not feel pain. I think at the very beginning maybe I was a little bit crampy, but other than that I was good. I didn't have no issues. Once those eggs were released from my body said yes, thank you.
And here I am, you know, being on the opposite side now, you know, going through it. It was so different. Like, it was really different for me because here I am thinking, now we're at this part, right? So now I let's get the heating pad ready, let's get the Tylenol ready, let's, you know, babe, here's the bed, like, don't move, don't do anything. And she's like, oh, I'm all right.
I'm good. I feel great, actually. I felt really good after just being miserable for a couple weeks. It was not bad at all. I thought it was going to be a lot worse just because of how I was feeling. So I was kind of prepared. And of course, you know, we had extra things available so that I could be comforted. I didn't need it. You know, some women are, you know, okay. Some women need a little bit of extra time to recuperate. So it was not the case for me. So I bounced back very quickly. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably the best way I can say that process went. So got through the egg retrieval process. My eggs were extracted. They were able to take the eggs that I had and inseminate them with the sperm that we had frozen from the previous embryo transfer that we had, and embryos started to develop. So as the days went by, we got the call from the doctor, the nurses, you know, kind of give us an update. We had about 12 eggs to start with, and, you know, a couple days go by, not too many survived. Unfortunately, none of my eggs ended up were, you know, usable. So unfortunately, could not use any of my eggs. I was prepared for this mentally, and I know I didn't tell Candace right away how I was feeling, but prior to having the egg retrieval, I really felt, you know, a strong connection just with everything that our doctor knew and our, you know, plan for what is the next step if something were to not go right. We did have options in place. We already had embryos frozen, ready to go, and you know, the doctor was, you know, very concerned that it didn't work as well as it did for Candace. He had a new game plan in place. He's like, I know exactly what to do this time, the way that your body reacted. I know, you know, what type of medication to either increase or decrease for me. So he was very prepared for, you know, being able to be successful. I knew he was determined. However, I let him know right away, I'm sorry, doc, I cannot go through the egg retrieval process again. That was very hard on my body. So I really trusted my body and I really listened to it. You know, the older you get, the more you understand your body, and I knew personally I could not go through it again. It's not like that. It's not for everybody. So, you know, there are women that go through the egg retrieval process, you know, several times to, you know, really get the results, because it's a science experiment. Sometimes you have to know how your body's going to react, and every woman is different. So unfortunately, I told him, nope, I cannot do this. I cannot do it again. But I did give him the good news that, we did have embryos frozen and ready to go, and I would like to use one of our frozen embryos. He was very happy with that decision, and I'm glad he supported that, and he was very shocked that, I didn't want to go through the egg retrieval process again. But unfortunately, I just didn't want to put my body through that again. I knew that I was still kind of facing some challenges, outside of the medications and the process, and it was just going to be a little bit longer. So that's where we went.
Just for information purposes, just so you guys know, they do grade your eggs. So once they're extracted out of your body, they do give the eggs a grading system. And according to the grading system, that's where they kind of know how many will survive, how many will not survive, if they even want to use the egg. It really all depends on the grading system and what you're comfortable doing as a couple or as an individual. I know with their grading system, they're obviously looking at the top grade of eggs, and that sounds crazy, but they're looking for those top grade eggs so that they know that, okay, this is most likely going to be the one. So just keep that in mind. That's just for educational purposes. Like, they do actually give the eggs a grading system.
Yep. So, we went ahead with, choosing an embryo that we've already had in the bank to be able to utilize. We had the support of our doctor. He was very happy with that decision, and he supported everything that we, wanted to talk about. And, it was just a blessing to just be able to have that and be able to tell my doctor, no, I don't want to do this again. Some people, they just continue to put their bodies through a lot of tests, and
That's fine
sometimes,
if you do.
sometimes it's okay. Sometimes you need that, but unfortunately, it wasn't for me.
Right. So you're still taking medication. You're still taking the shots. None of that has dwindled. Like, it's still going on and on. So don't think for any reason that all of a sudden she just stopped taking the pills and the shots. Like, it did not stop. Even though her body wasn't really reacting the way that she wanted it to react, she was still doing it like a soldier. I mean, a champ.
You really need to get your body prepared for the next process. We are up to the day of our embryo transfer. So we got the okay from the doctor. The doctor called. This is going to be your embryo transfer day. We were excited. We had finally a tangible date for us to touch and see and be excited for. So we go in, and lo and behold, finally COVID restrictions allow visitors to be with each of their partners. So thankfully, Candace was able to come into the room with me during this process to see the embryo transfer be inserted in my body, which was amazing. I think it was the most beautiful moment that we were able to experience together.
100%.
Especially being that the embryo that was being placed inside my body was Candace's egg, and it was a beautiful moment to be able to carry the person that I truly love, baby. That's ultimately what it feels like. You are able to carry. I was able to have an embryo inside my body that didn't belong to me, that belonged to another person.
Whole another person.
I was able to, have that embryo inserted into my uterus to be able to develop and hold the baby. It was great. My body accepted it. It nourished it. It fed it. It provided the nutrients it needed. It helped it grow and develop as a normal baby. That right there was the most amazing thing that I could ever experience or feel. in my body. I have to say, it was truly blessed to be able to experience that. It's pretty wild, you know, to be able to carry a baby that initially didn't come from my own body, but my body accepted it, embraced it, and just took it in.
She had my baby, y'all. She gave birth to my baby.
I sure did.
It's unbelievable.
I sure did. I really did. It was pretty awesome. I have to say, I was pretty nervous right after the embryo transfer to make sure that the process actually was successful. At first, just like Candace, I wanted that experience of peeing on a stick to see if I was pregnant or not. So I did go through that process.
She sure did.
The first time I did it, though, I could tell you I got a negative result. I was pretty bummed about it because I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel nothing at all. My body did not react a certain way. I didn't get any morning sickness. It was just a waiting game at that point. I did try a few times after that. I went up to 3. That's it. After 3 tries. So the second one, I did get "you're pregnant" on the stick. And then the second time I got it, I was like, okay, I think I'm good. Let's wait till the doctor confirms it. And that's what we did. We waited, and we did get a successful pregnancy after a few weeks. It was pretty exciting,
pretty amazing, and that just shows you, like, that's one of the reasons we joke about this peeing on the stick, right? We joke about it, and who's gonna actually wait 2 weeks to take a blood pregnancy test? Like, nobody's doing that. But that's not probably. It's one of the reasons why they tell you to wait the 2 weeks, because say she didn't take that second pregnancy test and she just went with that first one where it was a no. She would have really been bummed, and it could have even played out a lot differently.
Yeah, that's true.
You
put too much stress on yourself.
You put a lot of stress on yourself. So they really don't want that stress. So that's probably why they tell you to wait the 2 weeks. But I know I couldn't wait.
Yeah, and I definitely couldn't either.
Yeah.
You want to go through the experience, and that's what we did. And
we got to pee on the stick, okay?
We have 2 beautiful girls now. They are biologically related, the same.
Blood sisters. Whether they like it or not.
Facts. Whether they like it or not, God is amazing. We owe all of this to Him for making it possible and for getting us through it, to be honest. Now we have 2 beautiful girls. We have Gemma, who's the oldest. She'll be 2 soon. And we have Royal, who's about to be 6 months. And they're amazing. They are alike, but
also
not
different.
That's the best way I can explain it. They are very similar, but they are not alike in so many different ways. Mm-hmm. They're just fun and beautiful.
Stay tuned, as you will meet our girl shortly.